Hello, and we're live. So, welcome to Wine Wednesdays, everybody. We're back, and tonight I have the beautiful Michelle Boer with me, my girlfriend. And if you're coming live, say hi so we know where you're coming from. If you're coming from my women's group, let me know and click on the StreamYard link so that we can see your comments on Facebook. That would be wonderful. Yeah, I think something's going on with one of my links here, but that's okay. We're all good. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome to Wine Wednesdays.
Yay! I don't normally drink wine, but I'm drinking it for you tonight, Shauna.
Oh, you're so sweet.
This is a really, really sweet one, though.
Yeah, you like this. Oh, I love it. So let's yeah, something's going on here with one of my streams, but that's okay. We're all good. So Michelle, let's talk about tell me what is going on right now with because you're homeschooling, and so Michelle's from Portland, the Portland area, right? Outside of Portland. What's your actual town called? I can never remember.
Camas.
Camas. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm about 20 minutes from Portland, the airport, and then about 10 minutes from Vancouver, not Vancouver, Canada.
Yes. I love that she says that. Michelle and I we've been to Kelowna and been roommates. Well, and Mexico, we met in Mexico where we first met. We've been on a few different trips together. So I was so excited when the one trip, and I thought she was by close to Vancouver, Canada. Yeah, apparently not.
I wish.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Heather. Thank you for joining us. So we're just catching up with Michelle. She's in Portland, and so because you have Isaiah home, the little prince, and I know everybody's getting ready. Like they're right now, like kids are back in school, and then because my sister-in-law said like some kids are the classes are smaller because some of them are being homeschooled and some are actually going to school. So what's going on in your area?
In our area, they're not going back to school at this point anyway. They're saying maybe January. So what we have is what they call distance learning. And that is, it's actually, a lot like what we do. A lot of Zoom room, they have a Zoom room meeting every morning. And it's kind of cool. It's just like what they would do in the classroom. And then their teacher does, they have apps in their Chromebook. And so their teacher does like a video that shows them what to do, what 3 things they have to do. And then they have there's another video that tells them what. So, it's like I said, it's a lot of what we have, how we've been learning anyway for some of us. So it's been pretty cool, and it's really neat the way that they did it. Isaiah is 8 and he has a badge, so he can sign into everything on his own.
Oh.
They even made, they set everything up, all the apps and everything. So like he can go into a Zoom meeting on his own. It has a little brain and he knows that's Zoom. And then, excuse me, each one has an icon.
Yeah.
So that they know exactly what to do and how to do it. So, it's pretty ingenious the way they've made it work.
Yeah. Because he's been, it was just like, yes, Heather, I can see your profile picture. Yay, thank you for joining us. I'd be curious, Heather, what's, now I got a throat frog. What's like in Medicine Hat? What's happening in Medicine Hat? Are kids back in school, or is it like smaller classes? And I like the idea of the Zoom meeting with the apps, and then he just signs in to like the different classes. And
I wish somebody would do that for me. I always forget my logins and all that kind of stuff. Just to be able to wave it in front of the camera and you're there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
wow, that's excellent. Because it's kind of like who knows how long it's going to be like this. So it's kind of the new way of learning, right?
Yeah. And like his specialist and I were talking, for him, it's been great. So yesterday he had a little bit tougher day than we've had. we're exploring and getting up in the middle of the night and playing on YouTube while mom and dad are asleep. So when we're in our classroom meeting, we're falling asleep.
Yeah.
But, so we just kind of redesigned what he had to do, but he didn't get to not do it because we needed that natural consequence. But, it was that flexibility, because if he would have been at school, what would we have done?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, and because he's been like you, because you, has he been home since March? Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we honestly, even when school got out in the fall, we didn't quit. We still had a lot of the apps. And so we still did that. So for us, where he needs a little bit extra help, we're actually taking advantage and kind of catching him up.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I mean, really, in a way, for him, it's been a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm just seeing what Heather says. So her daughter is a high school biology teacher, grade 11 and 12. Oh, she has a group of students all morning and a different group in the afternoon. Oh, isn't that something? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting way to do it. Because like I know, like I was saying with my niece and nephew, half the kids are learning it from home and half are at the school. So yeah. Yeah,
that's what they're talking about doing, is eventually doing pods. And a lot of our friends that have kids this age, they did pods and they hired somebody to come in.
Yeah.
Because when you work, what do?
Yeah.
I'm blessed enough to work next to him. Sometimes that's a blessing. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to do this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you work from home. So in one way it's a benefit, it's a blessing that you work from home anyway, but then it's also changing your work day and your work schedule as well. Because you're doing the schooling with him. And then it's like, okay, now I'm fitting in when I can work my job, your job kind of thing.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Some days I feel like today's been a really good day. Yeah. And, I feel like I got so much done. And other days I'm like, well, we made it through the day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. What Heather's saying here. They have those select students for 2 months, but she has to cram the whole semester into. Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Wow. I really feel for some of the teachers. I mean, having to get really creative. His teacher he says he wasn't trained to be a YouTube star, but he really does remind me of some of the YouTube people that the Little Prince watches.
I love it.
And so he's very charismatic. He's very positive. Would totally fit in our circle.
Yeah.
We geeked out one day and talked about neurologic pathways and
I love it.
But some of the teachers, I can't imagine having to teach some of that stuff online.
Yeah.
That would be tough.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about, tell us a little bit what you do, my dear, for those who don't know you.
Oh my goodness. So I am the mom to moms. I have the Little Prince, as we've been chatting, and we had some challenges at the beginning. And I did a lot of therapy and learned a lot. And after a while, my therapist said it was time for me to share what I had learned with other moms, because there's so many things and skills you learn that it really could help every mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so right now, that's exactly, I'm after years, as you know, I'm finally stepping out and doing that, because I feel like us moms right now, we need it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I love the way in conversations we've had in the past, how you do little things like we were talking that comes natural for you because you're helping the Little Prince. I love that we call him that. Little Prince, because you're helping him learn and you're helping him understand in ways that he can understand and that he's grasping. And so you're navigating kind of almost like another level of parenting, right? So it's like, and so it's become so natural for you and secondhand, but it's like, there's so many cool little tips and tricks that it's like an ebook or something, right? I love that you call it Mom to Moms, because there's so many neat things that you do that wouldn't even, like, other moms wouldn't even think of.
Mm-hmm.
So many little tips that I just love hearing your little stories with what you do. I'm like, oh my God, you totally need to build an ebook around this and put it out there for these moms. And I love that that's what part of what you're doing is working with other moms and giving them ideas and helping them with their children. Because I just love, let's talk about some of the stuff you do.
Oh my goodness. Where do I start?
I put you on the spot. We're just like, it's, yeah.
You know, a lot of it is, it comes back down to what you teach, Shauna, with the numerology, knowing that power code and understanding on top of, you know, the challenges we have. So knowing how I'm going to be able to get through with him, I can't just, my other one, I have a 23-year-old or 24-year-old also. And I can't just, I could just tell him, you know, don't do this. And 100% wouldn't dream of doing it.
Yeah.
Now, the little prince doesn't quite get that stuff.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of charts. We have reward systems. We have a lot of natural consequences. You know, I think I was telling you, he discovered how to unlock. He's very, very, very smart, as I believe all kids are. And it's figuring out how to tap into what their thing is, right? I mean, just like with us, finding that thing. So he's very technical. I can't even say the word. Yeah, very tech. Yes, he knows how to get into our phones. He figured out that even if you have your phone locked, if you push the camera, you can take a picture, and then you click on the picture, and you have access.
It opens. Oh my goodness! Wow.
He can watch you put your password in, and he knows. He learned how to use the voice to text so that he can search for things on YouTube. So, you know, really, like what we're working on right now, we're still working on reading. So I don't know exactly. I'm still kind of coming up with it, but it's going to be, we're coming up with a new program for him to create a game, his own tech game, because we're really into Roblox and those kind of games. And so we have to read, though, to do that. So giving him those things that he has to do to tap into what he wants to do.
Yeah, I love it. Oh, that is such a good idea. And I love that you brought up the numerology, because this has been coming up a lot lately. And it's really interesting because for me, I never thought of it in this way because I don't have children. But I delivered a blueprint, a power code to a friend last week. And we were going over it like with the kids, because we were talking about, you know, the arrow of determination and the arrow of the planner and the arrow of frustration. And we started getting into all the arrows. And so we were sitting there and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, definitely something like, even for you, like to have a code with your clients or with anybody with kids, because it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And one of the other numerologists I was talking to, she was saying, yeah, I was parenting my child this way for all these years. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I totally understood the arrow of frustration. And it was like, okay, so this is not the way he's going to understand things. So she was like, I had to change the way I was parenting to understand that here's how he's understanding things. And this is going to frustrate him. And that's a blessing, because when he's frustrated, that means it's telling us something.
Yeah.
Yeah, versus all of a sudden them being frustrated and, you know, getting mad or something yourself. And it's like, no, they're frustrated for a reason. And so it's okay, why are they frustrated? Like what's happening here? And so she literally changed her style of parenting based on her child's power code, knowing how her child receives information.
It's so it makes such a difference. So my older boy is all about love. and he doesn't like to make waves, and he doesn't like confrontation.
Yeah.
And the little prince is like you, Shauna. He's the empress.
Yeah.
And, and so tapping into that and knowing you has even helped, because tapping in and knowing your personality and knowing that when he gets frustrated, he's just frustrated, that isn't him, right? I know what a heart you have. And so I know he has that. I mean, you see it in him, but it helps to be able to have that reference and be able to understand. And then looking at the kids and knowing that, wow, they're so different. So yeah, I really suggest any mom that I work with have it done so that they understand even themselves and their husband and, the dynamics of it all. I had no idea until you started to teach me that stuff, what a difference it made.
Yeah. Well, it's such a huge difference because we're not all cookie cutters. And for years it's like, what? It's like you're born and you go to school, you all take the same courses. It's like you graduate, you do this, you get married, you have a family. It's like a cookie cutter thing. And that's not the way we are. That's not the way that's not the way we're supposed to be at all. And so we're each born with that code, our power code in our DNA. So it's like knowing what that code is, and it's learning about yourself, but it's also how you react to others. Because there's clients where we're sitting there and we're talking, and all of a sudden they'll be sitting there. Oh, thank you for joining us, Heather. Take care. Where all of a sudden they're just like, wow, that's why I am the way I am. I didn't realize that. I thought I would just this go this way or that way or whatever. And then they started understanding more how they were reacting to other people and how it was in their code. And it's like, oh, okay, so that is why I am the way I am. And it's cute because some of the clients I've worked with, we'll have a discussion and I'm like, well, no, it's here. And I love it because they're like, the code gives me permission to be me. And it's so exciting to hear that. And I have one client to me, she goes, every time something goes a certain way, she goes, I think back to my code, and then I'm like, oh, Shauna gives me permission. Shauna gives me permission to be me. And so I start laughing. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, use that all you want.
I love that. Boy, yeah. I'm gonna start using that too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it really does when and I was just reading through mine again. Like I pull my note once a month and I read through it because I always pick up something.
Yes.
It's like, and even as me, as someone, who dives deep into numbers, you're always learning, always growing. Like it's continually.
I keep mine out. Actually, I just started that, probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I read mine. I don't read it every day, but at least once a week.
Yeah.
Just because, like you said, as we're growing, it helps to tap into that and to know that, because we always wonder, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? And I can look at it and be like, yeah, of course I am. It just gives you that reassurance.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Gives you the reassurance. It gives you that, sometimes it's that little bit of, yeah, that is why I am the way I am. And that's okay. That's more than okay. And then it's like, okay, I can do this now. And especially with, if you're trying to power through something and it's not quite working or whatever. And it's like, it can give you that little bit of reassurance in so many areas of your life. Yeah.
We've been working on the agape love and listening. And, I know from reading his power code and from his past that sometimes he just doesn't feel like he's being heard.
Yeah.
And so, sometimes he'll be in a fit, and being able to just say, I hear you. This is what you want to do. And repeat it back to him. And then he'll stop and be like, oh, you are hearing me. Yeah. And sometimes I have to say, but that's not the option right now.
Yeah.
But that gives me a couple minutes to figure out how am I going to flip this situation, or what am I going to do? And it gives him a minute to breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Such good stuff. I know all the stuff we've been learning the last few years.
Yeah.
Boy, do I use it daily.
Yeah, it's more and more, and it's like you have all these little tools in your toolbox, and it's like I need to pull that out, and I need to pull that out, and I need to pull that out, and I had a situation last week that I just I went like full on fight or flight, and it was like, pull the tools out, Shauna, you got this, and it was like, and it was sitting there, and it's like when you have the tools and you use them, life can flow.
It can.
Like, it doesn't have to be hard. It can be easy. We make it hard because we don't have the training or the skills to make it easy. We think it has to be hard. So we're creating it and making it harder than it really needs to be.
And I think that's the change right now. I think that's kind of what we're here to teach everybody, and that's my mission with moms, is that, you have your child, no matter how that happened, whether it was adoption, whether it was natural, whatever the case, you have that child because you're meant to be that child's mom. So how to parent that child. You know what that child needs. You just have to trust yourself and really listen to that intuition. And that is really what I'm working with moms, is teaching those tools of being able to do that and allowing yourself to do that. That just because everybody says he needs to go back to school or whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that that's what he needs. I know what he needs.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Because that's exactly it. Sometimes you have to tune out what everybody else is saying and just trust your intuition and do what comes from your heart.
Like, I think with parenting, it's huge. Because we see so many other parents, and I know that, I used to hear, why don't you parent him just like you parented your other one? They're two different people.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. And there is more and more that the awakening and the awareness of that all people, all children, all adults, like all humans are not the same. So there's I know I was like in school, there was times where I was like, no, I don't want to do this. This isn't. And there was certain courses or classes that I was like, no, not happening. And it was really interesting because I look now and I have girlfriends that are been homeschooling for a while. And it's really interesting now opening up and seeing how they're teaching their children and how their children are flourishing. And I'm just like, wow, that's so amazing.
My mentor on my last team, she decided to homeschool. She has 5 kids, so she's homeschooling 4 of them. And one of the things that she's using right now is Think and Grow Rich. Right? Can you imagine when we were kids, if we had learned that? And the other one she's using is Habit Finder.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, I keep telling her, I'm like, I'm jealous. Keep teaching us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna, if you know your child and you can tap into that, again, finding that thing, they're just gonna flourish.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness, I love it.
So fun.
Well, my dear, hi Rosa. Rosa's here.
Hi, Rosa.
Well, we were just getting ready to wrap it up. We've just been chatting mostly about kids and parenting and numerology. And I know. I'm like, numerology's everywhere in my life. It is my life.
It's funny. Once you know it.
Yeah. And Megan Alton's teaching it again. I think it starts here in October. So that's pretty. I'm like, yay. Love it. So. But thank you so much for joining me today, Michelle. This was great. And you should put your link in here for your moms to moms. And
Thank you so much. It's always good to catch up with you. And
thank you for joining me. And cheers to everybody. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Take care.